Hi class, welcome to another tutorial on CS384. This time we will look on map and filter. So basically Python has three functions, special functions, map, filter and reduce, but reduce is too complicated and never used. It's a very bad way of writing program. So I don't introduce you to reduce, you can just introduce you to map and filter. Okay, again we will just go to our basic example. First we will clear the screen and we have a definition for area of a circle that takes in the radius and returns pi r square. Okay, and this time I'm using the round function. So round function, what it does, takes a first value and has now this basically whatever will the value will have only 3 decimal places, right? By default Python has such a large decimal places which does not look so good on the screen. So let us reduce the decimal points to 3. Fine enough. Now I have a list of numbers. Let's say this is a tuple. I can even have a list, no issues. I am passing 11, 2, 53 and 1. So for example, if I want the area of the circle for all the radiuses, what I will do, I will just say for I into I in numbers, and I'm passing area of circle. Just a second class. Okay. So I will pass the radius one by one, 11, 2, 53 and 1. This function basically may returns the area of the circle and I am printing on the screen, right? All good, so fine. Let me exit the function so that I can have the output only till here, right? So you see the area of the circle has come. If you want a better output, let us use the f string. The area of the circle with radius. What will be the radius stored in I is, and again we are using. So see, f string makes your printf statements very nice and very concise, right? See, the area of circle with radius 11 is 380, 2 is this. As you can see, we have only 3 points in the decimal, right? Now back to do what can we, how can we achieve this using a single line object, right? So for that, you will be using the map function. So what does map do? See, map basically takes a function as an input, right? Map takes two parameters. First is a function and second is the list or tuple. Okay, I'm just commenting this part. So map takes a function as an input. So you see, area of the circle is our function in this case, and numbers is a list or a tuple. So what basically map does is take every object of numbers, so basically 11, 2, 53 and 1, and then pass it to the function, right? So instead of writing this basically line, map basically achieves in one line. So Python is more concise language, tries to have even lesser and lesser lines of code, but we will see what happens with the map. Okay, so when I do this, let me comment out all other line and let me just print out this particular line. What happens in when I print the map object? So as you can see, the output is map object, right? What we expected was that these numbers will be applied to the area circle one by one and we will get the areas, right? Now to overcome that, what we can do is like this thing. So map object, what we will do, map object will be convert into a list. We can also do a tuple by writing a tuple here. And then this list, I'm storing it into all areas. And then just display all areas. See the output right now, right? Voila, you get the list here, right? 380, 12, 882, 3.14, exactly same list, right? So basically, I can, if you want to have an optimal output, right, for these particular two lines, I can just have a one line code now. Let me just write that for you. So I can do a print. Let me check the parenthesis. It's okay. Let me toggle all other things, right? So for I into numbers, right, I'm having one number at a time and then I'm passing it to the area of the circle. So I can achieve the same thing by writing just one line of code. So what I'm doing, I'm passing map function. I'm saying on which function this list should be applied, converting into a list and then printing it. You see, both of them basically return the same thing. So map function basically can be used to reduce the lines of code, but I feel this is a more clearer way of reading the program. So it's just a programmer's choice. Then you have another function called filter. Now if you see, I have a list of 4 values because I gave 4 radius: 380, 12, 8824 and 3.142. For example, if I want to have only those areas which are, let's say, greater than 100, less than 100 or greater than 100. So for that, Python has a filter object, a filter function, right? What does filter function do? Basically, it does the same thing, right? So let me just comment out this line. So again, map function, the function and the numbers that I'm passing, I'm converting that into a list and storing into all areas. Now what I do is, like, just see the filter function. Filter function again takes a function first, just like map. So what will filter function do? Take a function and take a tuple or a list, right? So in this case, we have a lambda function, which is an anonymous function, and the second all areas is basically the list that we saw earlier. Here, see what our lambda function is doing. It is returning x if only the value of x is less than 100. So all areas has 4 floats: 380, 12 point, and 8824 and 3.142. So lambda function basically returns only those values which are less than 100, right? So less than 100 are 12.566 and 3.412. So it filters out those values, returns a list which is being stored into result1, and then I'm printing the value of result1. You see, we get these values 12 and 3.142. If you want to print the areas also, let me uncomment that line. So this was the area computed for all the radiuses, and filter helps us to reduce it to those values which are less than 100. I can just quickly change it to greater than 100 to get the values which are greater than 100, right? So filter, basically, if I were to write a for loop for this, I would have written in this fashion. For I in numbers, right? First I will compute the area. So let's say area is equal to area of circle, and I'm passing I. So if area is, say, less than 100, I will do a print area. Fine. So let me make this is also as less than 100 and have a small print separator star into 25. So you can see both of them have the same output, right? But in this case, I required 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this can be achieved only in a single line. So you can use either of them. There is no such compulsions. So this was an introduction to map and filter functions. If you are comfortable with for loops, I would advise you just keep for loops, keep the thing simple, keep the code readable. That's it, class. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good day.